As you know, I already culture Daphnia, bloodworm, copepods, and I wanted to do brine shrimp as well. So I bought some brine shrimp. Let me just show you. Brine shrimp eggs in sea salt pre-mix. So they're already mixed up with the sea salt, and all I've got to do is hatch them. So I'm just going to make a brine shrimp, DIY brine shrimp hatchery. So I've got this orange squash bottle here, and I'm just going to take the plastic off. So just taking the plastic off, I've cut it just literally like that. A lot of the plastic bottles are just stuck on, it's just a cover sort of thing, just so that you can see what you're drinking, like orange squash. And then what we're going to do is we're going to cut the bottom off down here. Where are we? Down here. Just cut a little bit off the bottom there. I've still got the top, so there's the top as well. There it is. Now if you're a young'un, get an adult to help you with your scissors when you do this, or get them to do this for you. I'm just going to stab it with my scissors here. I'm going to try cutting it. There we go. So I made a cut in. I'm going to cut all the way around like that. And follow the line. There's some nice lines on these bottles. That's that done. And then all we do, I've rinsed it really well, washed it out and rinsed it. Put the top back on, the lid. Just like that. With the lid. Now, as you can see, I filled the bottle up with water, and I needed something to stand it in so it stands upright. And I've got this spaghetti jar, as I use the spaghetti jars to culture gamma shrimp, which are an English shrimp that lives in streams and rivers and ponds, and water louse. I've got to put an air pump and air stone into that, but I've stood it in the spaghetti jar just so it stands upright. Now I always keep things because I always think that they'll come in handy. So this time I've kept this, which is like a packing sponge, and I've just put it around the top so that it holds the bottle in place, just stops it wriggling around. So I've got an upright, although it's upside down, an upright bottle. It's to hatch, it's like a hatching cone, so that the brine shrimp, they don't just settle in the bottom, they'll get swirled around. And then I've got to add the brine shrimp to the cone, as it were, but it's just a plastic bottle. It's a DIY brine shrimp hatchery. I've dropped this air stone right down into the lid of the actual brine shrimp hatchery, and I've clipped it on at the top. Let's see if we can see this, with a clothes peg just to hold it in place there. It's sat in that ring of packing material, foam, just to hold the actual thing in place within the spaghetti jar. Now I've cut the, what have I done with it? Hang on. Now I've got a small disposable wooden spoon. I'm going to make sure these are really dry, because when you put it in the packet you don't want it making the eggs wet. As I said, it's a mixture of sea salt and eggs. Now I'm gonna do about half, not quite half, but a spoon of, there we go, brine shrimp, eggs and sea salt. We've got some tin already. Put them in there like that. I'm actually gonna stick that spoon in, give it a little stir. The eggs will tip to the bottom there, but they are turning. Now, bear with me a minute. I might have to turn the actual bubbles down a little bit. But it's spinning the eggs around and around, and so we give them like 24 hours and they should hatch. They're shell-less brine shrimp eggs, and like I say, I will turn them down in a minute. I might be able to turn it down now. It's on all of them, so turn it down just a bit. There we go. They're still going, but it won't be quite so noisy. That's my DIY brine shrimp hatchery. And it's made out of a plastic bottle, as I've just shown you. And if you want to make one for yourselves, then go ahead, you can copy mine or get some ideas off YouTube, off other people's channels. There's lots of people doing these things, but it's good to raise your own live food. So these are brine shrimp in sea salt. There's a pre-mix and they're in, and this should work, it'll be fine. And yeah, there we go. I'll bring you back and I'll show you, I'll decant them into different tanks using my trusty turkey baster. That's how I suck things up and squirt them in. You can use a syringe or a plastic syringe or something like that, but that's how you empty them out and put them in. I'm actually going to turn the pump down a little bit more, but this is a DIY brine shrimp hatcher. Cheers, hope everyone's well.